Hey, what's up guys? Soldier Knows Best here. So Huawei sponsored this video for me to be able to show you just a day of me using the Huawei P40 Pro and also their Huawei Watch G2E. And so both of these devices go well together, and I have to say just right off the bat, I really like the design, especially of the phone, because it kind of reminds me of like a pebble, like a little pebble stone. But yeah, it's a very smooth feel all around the phone, especially with the display having a slight curve on the edges on the top and the bottom, as well as the side. So when you are using the gestures and stuff like that on the home screen, everything feels really smooth. And then with the watch, I like the fact that they do have the bezel underneath the glass of the display, so it looks good. And I did use the original Watch GT and I like that one, but this one definitely seems better as far as the design, in my opinion. And yeah, so most of this video I will be shooting using the P40 Pro itself, like I'm doing right now. And I did make my way to downtown St. Louis here on my scooter, so I will be a little bit nimble getting around today. But yeah, let me go ahead and make my way over to one of my favorite spots right now. Okay, so I made it across the bridge over here to Illinois to come to one of my favorite places that you might have seen in some of my other videos, and this is the Malcolm W. Martin Memorial Park. And so this has this really big structure up here, which allows you to get some awesome views of downtown St. Louis and also the Arch. And I wanted to test out the cameras over here, but also too, this is a pretty big structure that has just a bunch of ramps and no elevator or anything like that. So I'm actually going to test out the step tracking that this Watch GT2E does have. And so this goes along with, I think, over 100 different like fitness and workout tracking and routines and stuff like that it can do. And it can also monitor your heart rate when you are swimming, so this thing is going to be good to go in water as well. But anyway, let me get to stepping here and actually see how many steps it takes to get to the top. All right, so I made it up to the top here and it is really bright, so let me put on my sunglasses. But that was a good workout there. So it took me around, I counted 325 steps, and I think the watch counted 319. So it was off by a little bit, but still close enough. But yeah, this view is amazing. So I like to come up here and test out smartphone cameras. And this phone itself has a triple camera setup on the back. So you have an ultra wide, you have a telephoto, and then you also have the main wide angle camera that comes in at 50 megapixels, which is going to be good for just taking a photo with all of those megapixels and then cropping in after the fact. But this phone also does have some really good zoom too, so you can get up to 50 times zoom, which is going to be a combination of optical and digital. But this phone has some really good software optimization when it comes to the camera, because you know, a lot of phones have some long zooms to them, but they don't always look the same. But I think Huawei did a good job, because I can still see a decent amount of detail when I am zoomed in. So I'm pretty happy with the cameras, what I see so far. And I am recording this little bit on the front facing cameras of this phone, so it may be a little bit windy out here. Hopefully it doesn't sound too bad. But yeah, let me go ahead and take some more photos out here, then I'll head over to my next location. All right, let's pick it up. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so now let's talk about the software situation on this phone real quick. So this phone is running on top of Android, but they have their own EMUI software running on top of it, which is a very nice, clean kind of shell to put on top of Android. Nice little touches here and there. But the biggest thing is that this Huawei P40 Pro does not have access to the Google Play services. So you don't have access to the Google Play Store or any of the apps inside of there. Now, that does suck, but you do have access to other apps either through Huawei, or you can do things like sideload some of these apps on there. You can go to their websites and use them sometimes, or you can do what in my opinion is the best option, and that is just to download the Amazon App Store. And you can do that just from the browser. Just go to the website and download it, and that will give you access to some of the popular apps out there like Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, and some popular games out there like PUBG. But even still, this is not going to give you all of the access to the apps in the Google Play Store. But again, it's kind of up to you whether or not you want to put in a little bit more work and sideload those apps that you really may want to use, or if the hardware may just be good enough to the the point to where you can kind of overlook some of those things. Now for the software on the watch, I'm liking it because it is also simple and clean as well. And you have a good amount of watch faces to choose from. And I really like the watch faces that Huawei has because you have some that kind of vary between your classic ones and then also to things that have like neon lights and stuff like that. So you have a bunch of different options to choose from right on the watch. And then also along with all of these other kind of health fitness tracking things, as far as like tracking your running and your exercises, you can track your stress, you can track your sleep and different information like that as well. But all right, my coffee is almost done. I don't know where I'm going next, so we'll see where I end up. So let's go. Okay, so I've made it out here to one of my favorite places. Oh, almost fell down the river. But one of my favorite places in St. Louis to come out and take photos and videos. And this is the graffiti wall, which is down here by the riverfront, right here by the arch. And so a lot of good artists come down here to paint a lot of good stuff, like this Black Panther one of my favorites that they've done recently. And I'm back here actually in the back of it. It's a little sketch back here, so I'm not gonna spend too much time back here. But I am recording this video using the front-facing camera that can record 4K video up to 60 frames per second, just like the rear-facing camera, and I think the quality looks good. But one thing I noticed when I was recording this is just the display itself looks really nice. And this screen comes in, I think, around 6.6 inches, so I think that's a good size. Not too big, not too small, right there in the sweet spot. And it also does run up to 90 hertz as far as the refresh rate, so it's not quite the 120 hertz refresh rates that we are seeing from a lot of good flagship phones, but it still is good enough. I think a lot of people will be happy with it. Also, the screen on this watch is pretty solid too, so it is an AMOLED display, so the sun is not directly over me, but it is like bringing some of that good light down here for this video, of course. But yeah, I've used some Huawei watches in the past, and they've always had really good displays that are able to be easily read in direct sunlight, and that's good too, especially if you want to use it for working out. If you're going running, you can still look down and not have to worry about not seeing the screen. All right, so I jumped over to the other side of the wall here, started to get a little sketch over there, but yeah, it's about 6:34 p.m. and I did check the battery before I started recording this video of the phone, and I think it's around like 40%, 35 to 40%. So it's not bad for the workload that I had today, especially doing a lot of 4K recording. I'm at 60 frames per second, taking a lot of good photos, and I've also been recording this particular video clip using the built-in microphones on this phone, so this is a good test of how those sound. But yeah, really good location. I've been taking some photos and some videos over here as well, but let me get out of here and find somewhere where I can test out the cameras at night. Okay, so I decided to shoot this outro indoors instead of trying to film it outside at night, but I was able to take a couple of pictures using night mode, and I was happy with the results. And so look, I'm gonna keep this outro short and sweet. I like the hardware, I like the design of this phone, and I think that if you can get over some of those software limitations with the Google Play services and things, I think you will find that this is a really good all-around experience when it comes to a smartphone. Battery life is on point, the always-on display looks good, and also the fingerprint scanner underneath the screen does work really well as well. And then when I look over at this watch, I like the design too. And then when it comes to battery life, Huawei says you could get up to like 2 weeks of battery, but that really depends on how heavy you use the watch. So I can say that easily you can get around 4 to 5 days without charging with no problem. But look, I like both of these products. I'll leave a link down below so you can check out more information about them and get more updated pricing as well. And what do you think about these? Leave your comment down below. And like always, I do want to thank you for watching this video, and I will catch you later. Peace.